All right, welcome back to the tutorial. Now I'll be diving in straight into the tutorial. So the first thing you do is open your Figma app, and you should have it like this. I told you yours should be more empty based on the fact that you don't have anything in it and you're just coming into it for the very first time. So all right, so let's dive into the first thing we'll be doing is creating a new file. Now we have two types of files we can create in Figma. The first is the design file and the second is the Figma Jamboard. Now, the design file is what we use to create all our amazing designs that we do. But the Jamboard is more like a collaborative tool, more like a collaborative presentation board where you have a lot of people coming in to do different things. Let me show you what it looks like shortly. So if you click on there's a Figma Jamboard up here, you see it's going to create one for us and we're going to see what it looks like. Now mine might be dark based on my system's color, but yours can be a different color, maybe white or whatever. So we see this is more like a drawing tool or a blackboard where you kind of like go and itemize what you want to do and all of that. So let's say you want a let's say you want to make a plan now for your team goals and project, or you want to brainstorm for a new idea, or you want a chat for like a 3-month program, or whatever you want to do. So is it a weekly sync? Is it a plan you want to do? Is it a flow chart? Is it a team retrospective? Is it a one-on-one session you want to let's just say you want to have a brainstorming section. The AI for Figma helps you to get that. So what do you want? Do you want a brainstorming session for goals you want to achieve, for or just a brainstorming session? Let's just go ahead and click on generate, and it's going to peruse the possibilities of what you want to do, and it's going to create a brainstorming, very interactive brainstorming section for us. Okay, so it's bringing up the first one we're going to do here, which is the agenda. Okay, it's also going to give us what is the brainstorming and what is the next step we want to do. So it's bringing out kind of like a template for work for us. We don't really need to do that now. Maybe when we get into packaging our work and collaborative work, we'll be going into that for now. So let me just go ahead and close it up. But for our main purpose of work, what we'll be going into is actually the design. So you can create a design file by either clicking on this design, which takes you straight up to a new design, or you come and click on this plus sign here, which will ask you, bring you to this interface where you choose, do you want a design file or do you want a Figma file? So this is like a long journey, all right, where you could just come and click on this new file here, which takes you directly to where you want to be. Okay, so it just takes you straight up into creating the new file. All right, so once it comes up and you're going to see a blank canvas like this. Now notice it's called on title. You can click on this title to change the name, say my first design. That's what we want it to be called. We want it to be called my first design. Now where do we go from here? We have 4 major sections I want to talk about. The first section I want to talk about is the menu bar up here, or will I call it the toolbar, which is located up here for the various tools that you can use. Also this here we have the assets bar, or let me say the let me just call it the layers or the assets bar, while on the right here we have the design and prototype, which shows you the elements that you are working with and how you interact with them. Also we have this white space here, is called our canvas, where you actually do your design. So let me talk to you about the basic tools you need to know. So if you click on this Figma here, This Figma here gives you the main menu where you have the file, the edit, the view, the object, the text, arrange vectors, and so on and so forth, and things you could do that gives you more option. The button up here for home, when you click on it, it takes you straight back to the home page where you have there. But just like you have all your designs here, you can click on my design back to take you back to where you are coming from, which is my first design. So you have the file menu, which shows you design file, this new file, save and export and all of that. You can export your frames to PDF. We'll be going into that in a more later section, but let's just work with what we have here. So you have the first one here. This is the arrow, the move tool, which actually helps you to move around your page and navigate your page, move objects and all of that. Then we're coming to this very interesting one here. Clicking on it, this is the frame tool. We have the frame, we have the slides, we have the section. Basically, we might not be using all of those now, but basically what we'll be using is for frame. Now, what does the frame do? The frame helps us to create a new frame and create a new template for use. Whenever we want to work, everything we do in Figma, every screen size we work with in Figma are called frames. So you can actually have a frame for, if you come to the right side here, you see various frame listing here. We have frames for iPhone, for different types of iPhones and different sizes of iPhone. If you close it, you have for tablet, showing you different types of tablets. You have for desktop, showing you different types of desktop and the sizes. You have for presentation, is it a slide you want to show? Is it watch, Apple Watch, or what kind of watch do you want to work? Is it a paper presentation? Is it an A4 paper design, a letter design, tabloid? Social media, is it a Twitter post, Facebook post, LinkedIn, all sizes? Is it do you want to design a plugin icon? Do you want to design a profile banner? What have you? And also archive, what are the things you want to work with? Maybe some of the sizes that are not displayed on the display screen for specific phones, like the 11 Pro Max is not displayed. If you click on the phones now, the 11 Pro Max is not here. If you click on the archive, the Surface Pro 4 is not here, the Google Pixel is not here, and some of other things that are not here. So that's just basically what we want to do. So for this design, we'll be starting off the design. I'll be showing you basic wireframes. I love to work with mobiles first. So let's go ahead and pick up a mobile device. So let's say we want something within the smaller range. Let's go for iPhone 8 Plus. Okay, so we'll click on it and we have our first frame showing us this is an iPhone 8 Plus, right? So like I mentioned, that everything comes in frame. If we go ahead and go back to this frame again and have our selection, and let me create an iPhone SE, it brings out another frame. And note that the sizes are different. Now it's bringing out these frame sizes based on the type or the size of the frame of that particular device. So they are not going to be all the same device because each device have different frame sizes. So what can we do? We can go ahead and just delete that, and we want to work with this frame. Now note that if you hover around it, you have these marks show you that okay, you are already on this frame. When you click on it, it's bringing out these borders that you can actually, these edges that you can actually resize. Note that you can also resize this frame. Now, resizing it means you've destroyed the initial dimension and it has turned to something else. So it's very, very, very important that you keep this frame. You try not to resize this frame. So I can Ctrl Z to undo it back to what the frame actually looks like. Also, we don't want this frame to be like this. We can actually come and click on the name, double click on the name to rename it. Maybe we want this to be our landing page or our home home page for our design. So it can be renamed to home page. Note that the name has also changed here. You can also come here and double click on it and change the name from here. So you can change it from either on the frame itself or on the layers panel. Also, there is a possibility that your design can have multiple pages. So maybe you want to design a page. The first page you want it to be the mobile view, and you want to create another page where you can have the web view. You can create another page where you have the iPad view and all of that. So when you see this place where you have the pages here, you can click on it and add another page so that you have an entirely blank page where you can also work. So let us say our page 2 should be for desktop view, and our page 1 can be renamed to be mobile view. So at any point in time you can switch within each view. So if you switch to the desktop view, you can come and have a frame for our desktop. Let's say the MacBook Pro 14. Click on it, and so you can actually use it and compare between your designs. When you design for the iPhone here and when you want to design for the desktop version, you also do the design here. So basically that is how you get your frame ready to go. That is all we'll be talking about, the frames for now. You can also lock the frame so it doesn't move. Like if you lock this frame now, you discover that you can't move it again even if you try, because the frame is locked. Okay, so let's go back to our mobile view and work with this and all of that. So we'll be going over to the next tool. There are still a bunch of things by the side here that we'll be dealing with later as we go on in the course. So let's come to the next tool here, which is the rectangle tool or the shape tool. So let's call it the shape tool for this course, and it has various type of shapes that you can actually place in it. So you have your rectangle tool, which you can use. Once you click on the tool and you come here, the icon changes to a plus sign, and you can actually click and start drawing or dragging around the whole artboard to create whatever tool or shape you want to create. Now note that if you want it to be evenly shaped, you have to hold down your shift key while you're drawing. So let's go back to this, and while we hold our shift key and draw, you see that it draws a perfect square. Whereas if I release the shift, it can shape to any shape it wants, but once I press down the shift key, it reshapes and resizes to a perfect square. So that can be very useful in your design. If you want to make something a perfect square or a perfect, you can come and click another shape again, maybe an ellipse tool. You want to create a perfect ellipse tool, you can create it like this. You want to create a polygon, you can come and create the polygon tool. And you can also, for the polygon tool, we know a polygon has various sides, and you can also go ahead and change the sides you want to change. If you come to the right now, you can see that this polygon count has a 3-sided shape. You can change it to 6 if you want. Click enter and it changes to a 6-sided shape. I just said let me just talk about that just briefly, so that in case somebody come and ask me, so how do we do it, how do we do that, and all of that. So you can have as many sides as you want to show you the number of polygon sides they all represent. And that's just basically that for that polygon tool. We can also come and have our star. So draw our star, right? And we can also, just like we did for the polygon tool, we can also tell you how many star size do you want. You want it to be a 10 star, and we have it like that. Now this is showing us, this one we are lighting here is showing us the ratio in which the in-depth of the star. So if you want something like 60%, which means it comes out more, right? So the little it goes, the more in-depth the star go. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, let me reduce this so the shape doesn't just fill up the whole space while we're still dealing with another shape. All right, so let us also come here. We have the arrow. We can draw the arrow. Now for the arrow, there are a lot of things we can do. We can see that the arrow is just very thin here. So if you click on it, there are a lot of things we can do with this arrow. One is we can come to this place down here and increase the thickness of the arrow. Let's say we want it to be 10, so which means it becomes very thick. All right, so if you want to make an arrow that is thick, we can also come to the arrow and click on the end point, how we want the arrow to appear. Do you want it to appear this way, this way, this way, this way, or just a normal line arrow, or we don't even want it to have any arrow? Also, it can come and ask, do you want the end to be rounded or to be square? So depending on what we want, we can make it a circle dot arrow. And also that is that. Let me also reduce the size of that. So reducing the size of that now, and we can also come and click on a line. Also, we do the same thing. So a line, let me press my shift and draw the line. It draws it very thin also. So if you click on the, also what we did here, the weight, and increase it to, let's say, 10, you have a thicker weight for the note that is not coming out in the same color will be coming to color very shortly. So that's that. You can also place an image. You'll be coming to placing of image also very soon, but I just want to show you these basic things you have for the tool. This is to place an image. All right, so we come to the next tool, which is the pen or the pencil tool. Now, what does the pen tool do? The pen tool helps you create points around a shape. Let's say you want to carve out a point from a shape, or you want to carve out a point, right? The pen tool is actually used to carve out different points from a vector. So if we have it this way, we can have and reshape and carve out a vector that has that point out, and we can actually draw. You see, we've drawn something that has that very abstract shape. So a pen tool or a pencil tool is used to draw. A pen tool is used to draw based on different points. It gives us points to place, and whatever we keep on the point determines what we actually draw. All right, but for the pencil tool, it's actually quite different. The pencil tool is more like a free sketching that you get to actually draw by clicking it and holding it down. You actually get to draw what you want to draw. So like we talked about the wireframing, if for example we want to, let me delete this vector. Let me delete this vector. So let's say, for example, we want to draw our low fidelity wireframe now, and we just want to draw something. We can use the pencil tool to actually draw. We don't want to draw this to be a line. We want to draw this to mean this is an image that we are working with. So we want this to mean this is an image. We want to say, okay, this is somebody. We're drawing this as a user, right? And so on and so forth. So this is actually used for that purpose. We want to just make quick illustration, quick underlining, quick note, and all of that. This can also be used for that. So that's all about the shape tool and the pen tool. Well, let me dive in a little bit into colors in the next video.